Hello, and welcome to another quarterly update. My name is Nestor Armstrong, and I'm part of the Etoro Popular Investor Program. Now, I won't sugarcoat it. The past quarter has been quite difficult for the market, and although our portfolio reported losses in this past quarter, our falls were not as pronounced as the S&P 500, and that by itself I consider it a win in my book. But if it's any consolation, it wasn't really the result of bad company choosing or a bad strategy itself, but it is pretty much the macroeconomic outlook of the world that we're living in. We got high energy prices in Europe. We got COVID hasn't really gone away. In fact, there are a lot of states and a lot of countries that the virus is really spreading. We got the war between Russia and Ukraine. That is also putting a wedge on the markets. But what is really affecting, and what I believe it was the main fuel of the last quarter, was the rising inflation. Central banks are trying their very best to try to mitigate some of this. But as I've said in previous updates, because they are playing a dangerous game, because they have to rise interest rates, but at the same time they have to avoid putting pressure on the economy so it doesn't bring it to a halt. Markets reacted violently to this inflation and went spiraling down 20% into bear market territory. Now, when there's a market downturn, you got pretty much two options. Well, three if you count staying out of the market. But if you want to stay in the market, you pretty much have two choices. You can either create sell orders and bet against the market, or particular stocks or assets, or you can continue to buy more of the company and dollar cost average. I decided to buy more stake in our companies at a better price, and I sold some of our stake in our gold ETF to make that happen. And I did it just in time for the July market rally. Although I didn't knew that there was going to be a rally on July or August or September, I was and continue to be confident on the asset allocation that I had, that I can navigate through any market because I am in it for the long run. I do not plan to be investing for a couple of months. I've been in Etoro for about almost 10 years, and I will continue to be so in the future. Although it paid off in the short term, I don't think we're anywhere near out of the woods yet. I believe the market is still volatile and still has room to go downward. Now, most of our companies reported good quarterly earnings, although that was not near enough to keep them from going downwards along with the market. That just comes to show that you can do everything right and you can pick the correct company, but the one risk that you can't really mitigate, no matter how diversified you are, is systemic risk, which affects the market as a whole. I expect for central banks to continue to raise interest rates, at least for what's remaining of 2022, and maybe they'll start easing up on 2023. Now, you may have noticed a few changes in the portfolio. I added a few companies, and also I made a little arrangement to their balance. I have begun rebalancing the portfolio now in September, and mainly because September is a really bad month for equities. There's a lot of theories going around about why is that, but no one has really come with a straight answer. But September might open some good opportunities to buy into some of our key companies. So I'll be adding stake into our companies as the month goes by, until we have regained the asset allocation that we had before the beginning of August. Now, I've also begun a special segment into our portfolio, which is dedicated in shorting the markets. I have developed a new strategy, which is basically the inverse take of what I usually do or seek when I'm trying to find companies to invest in. So I basically do the opposite of my investing philosophy to find long-term stocks in order to find overvalued and bad companies which basically are not sustainable as a business model. Now, I won't be using more than 10% of the total portfolio for these sell orders. My goal is to end our 4th year in a row in profit. Although it seems a little bit complicated due to the current situation of the market, I'm confident that we'll be able to navigate through the uncertainty and continue to bring profits to all my copiers. I appreciate the time you've taken of joining me and seeing this update. Thank you for your continued support and patronage. I hope you have a great week. My name is Nestor Armstrong, Popular Investor. Stay safe and invest smart.